Peace Queen. It's Melissa Crawford of thequeencode.com. And the message today is part 13 in the Queen Ascension series. So this is the last video in this series, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I've been getting emails and messages and posts on Facebook and Twitter from queens all over the world saying how relevant and how timely this message is. And I'll tell you, I got the inspiration to do it just a couple days before I started. It was actually something that was kind of forming, and it just hit me a couple days before I went into the series. And so I'm very grateful and very honored to be able to deliver this message to you, because it is relevant and it is very timely, because this ascension process is what we're all going through right now. And even though it can sound amazing to go to not the next level, but the next dimension, which is, you know, an even bigger leap into your purpose, into your passion and more fulfillment, all of that sounds glamorous, but the journey there can be very challenging. It can be very painful, very uncomfortable, very uncertain. You know, on this next dimensional level, new things are being done a new way. We're not operating the way we used to. And so even though where we are may be painful, it's also comfortable. And so this whole series has been about giving you some clarity about what's going on with you, because every woman that I've talked to knows that there's some change, some difference is happening, but she doesn't know why. And maybe you can't put your finger on exactly what's happening, and that's what this series is about, to explain to you all of these different things that are coming into your life. They're all relevant, they all mean something, and you're on the right path, okay? So I don't want you to feel like you're crazy. You're not the only one going through it. And so we've been talking about the difference between the third dimension queen and the fourth dimension queen. And the third dimension is where we are currently as a planet, but we're quickly elevating out of the third dimension. And the third dimension has really been that solar plexus, like right around your belly area, that fire power, that personal power, the get it done, the conquer, the achieve, the go forward. It's a very masculine energy. Nothing at all wrong with that, right? Because we all need that power energy. But because we've been so engrossed in it for the last 2,500 or so years, it's gotten to the point where that power has turned into greed, it's turned into conflict. We have wars, we have strife, we have lack, limitation, fear, intimidation, all of these different things that have made the end of this last dimension feel like hell on earth. And so right now we're upgrading to the fourth dimension, which is the age of heart, which brings a more feminine energy, a more flowy type energy of peace and abundance and fulfillment and purpose and passion. People are wanting to know now, why am I here? They're wanting to open their hearts. You know, they're wanting to love again. They're wanting to be free. And again, we're not, you know, like I explained in one video, we're not just doing away with all the great things we've learned from the third dimension. We're incorporating those great things, like the inventions and the technologies. We're incorporating all of those things. It's integration time here. And so what you have, especially for women, is feminine power. Not only are we coming into our own, but we're actually coming into our own in a way where we never have before. We are really stepping it up to another dimension in a major way. And so here we are at the last video, and typically I'll give you the difference between a 3D and the 4D queen, but in this last video I actually want to give you more insight about the next dimension. Okay, so we talked about we're currently in the third dimension. We're coming out of that into the fourth dimension, the age of heart. The fourth dimension is going to feel like heaven on earth. You know, living your dreams will be the new normal. And we're starting to see that everywhere. People are starting to go, I want to really do what I'm called to do, versus going and punching the clock, or, you know, doing something that doesn't bring meaning or fulfillment. We're starting to see that everywhere. Well, be on the lookout, because eventually Our great grandchildren are going to, know a world where living your dreams is a new normal. That's what everybody does. And we're the leaders in that. We're the pioneers in that new age. So here we are coming into the fourth dimension, but there's some of us that are up leveling to the fifth dimension at the same time. A few years ago, when I was just starting the Queen Code movement, I was probably about 2 years in, I was having this conversation with God, and I was going through these growing pains. It was like I had gotten to this certain point and it was time to go to the next level. And as I'm having this conversation with God and I'm trying to understand, it's like I kept feeling like there was a deeper element. And even though I had some success, it was like there was just something else. You ever get that feeling like there's something else? And I remember God saying to me that, even though you inspire people and you motivate people, that's just your excellence. But liberation is your genius. God said to me, I really didn't call you to only inspire and motivate. I called you to liberate. And I heard it so clear as a bell. And at this point, I'm like kind of scared because, having had a relationship for a long time, something big is about to come. You're going to be asked to do something that's way out of your comfort zone. Like, oh, goodness. And so I asked the obvious question, well, how do I liberate them? You call me to free people. You call me to free the people. How do I liberate them? And again, it came back clear as a bell. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. And to me, it really meant a journey of going deeper within myself and becoming validated enough within myself to deliver the messages as I was being told, not worrying about who's going to think I'm weird or, this is, people are going to think this or that, not worrying about that. At that time, I did not have the courage. I had not realized the courage to even give a message like Queen Ascension, talking about dimensions. To give the Queen Prophecy messages, I wasn't there yet. But that was where the journey started. I'm telling you this story because it's very relevant to that next dimension that many of us are going to pass through as well. And I believe that if you're watching this video, that you're one of the queens that are going to make not only the fourth dimension leap, but also the fifth dimension leap. So what is the fifth dimension? The fifth dimension is really about communication. It's about speaking out. Even though we're going back to purpose and peace and fulfillment, there are some of us that were here, that are here right now, that are created to be the new league of truth tellers. We are the storytellers. We are the messenger queens, right? So it's no accident that every queen that I've ever came across is a messenger. Truth is, we all are messengers in some way. We all came here to learn something, but we also came here to teach something, okay? And what we're here to learn is what we're here to teach. But there is this new age, this new league, I would say, of extraordinary queens that are rising up, and we are becoming the truth tellers. We are breaking the mold, and the story that we're telling is our own. Like I said, we all have a message. We all are the greatest story ever told. Your life is for you, but it's also not about you. There's a mandate for us to open up and speak our truth. That's where real liberation comes from. From knowing your truth, from living your truth, and from speaking your truth. And so the fifth dimension is all about what I'm doing right now, speaking out to you. And so this new age is giving birth to some passionate in the heart, fourth dimension, truth tellers, storytellers, writers. And so this is amazing. I mean, this is probably one of the only times in history that we've had two dimensions, but that we've been uploading to two dimensions at the same time. And so what I want to leave you with on this video is that if you're feeling called to speak and write, then know that your destiny is eventually in that fifth dimension, because that's how I would say you know that you're being called to that fifth dimension, where you've been having some thoughts of, I just want to speak and write. Absolutely. Okay. So leaving into the out of the third dimension, going into the fourth dimension, we're all going there. But some of us are going to step up immediately to that fifth dimension, and we're going to speak our truth. And when we speak our truth, it is going to free so many people. That is my message for you today. And I'll tell you, I really want you to pay attention to the next 21 days. Right now it's Monday, June 9th. Pay attention to, 21 days. So June 30th. Okay. Pay attention to the next 21 days, because there's some major shifts that are going to happen, starting with this coming Friday. We have a full moon on this coming Friday. Full moon always represents releasing something. And this full moon is very special. It's actually, there's some very powerful energy coming behind that. And around about, say, June 16th-ish, all around that time, it's really a time of what's called piercing the veil, or coming out of the veil. Be very mindful and pay attention to the next 21 days, because there are some great revelations and great clarity that's going to come to you about things that you may have been struggling with for a long time. And this is what I've been told in spirit, and for that reason, the next video series after this one is called simply Revelations. And we're going to talk more about that next week when I start the Revelations series, okay? So it's just about opening our eyes in a new way. The scales are going to be falling from my eyes like crazy over the next 21 days. And all you simply have to do, Queen, is just don't resist this. It's going to feel different, but if you resist it, it makes it painful. It's not a painful process. Just allow the changes, allow whatever, just go with the flow, because there's something that's getting ready to come your way that's going to be very powerful, okay? So that's my message for you today. And in the meantime, I do have a wonderful gift for you. If you go to my website at thequeencode.com, C-O-D like David, E.com, there are tons of free audios, and you can get those and download those and further equip yourself for this next dimension, okay? So that's www.thequeencode.com, and I'll talk to you soon.